Okay, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما تعلمنا وزدنا بفضلك علما وتعليما إنك على كل شيء قدير. Okay, it says وفي المسند أنبأنا وكيع حدثنا حماد بن سلمة عن عاصم بن المنذر عن عبيد الله بن عبد الله بن عمر عن أبيه مرفوعا إذا كان الماء قلتين أو ثلاثا لم ينجسه شيء. قال وكيع القلة الجرة. Right? The word jar, by the way, is Arabic. Jar, right? It's actually Arabic from the jarra. Um, so he says Asim Salih, right? So Hamad ibn Salama, Asim, right? 50-50, right? ورواه الزعفراني عن يزيد عن حماد كذلك. حماد كذلك. وتابعهما هدبة وإبراهيم بن الحجاج وكامل بن طلحة مثله فقالوا قلتين. وقال عفان ويعقوب الحضرمي والتبوذكي وعبيد الله بن موسى وآخرون عن حماد بإسناده إذا كان الماء قلتين لم يشكوا. سويد حدثنا القاسم بن عبد الله العمري I believe عن ابن المنكدر عن جابر مرفوعا إذا بلغ الماء 40 قلة فإنه لا يحمل الخبث. هذا خبر ساقط لأن القاسم قال أحمد وأحمد وغيره كان يكذب. This is قاسم here. وقد رواه الثقات عن ابن المنكدر عن عبد الله بن عمرو قوله right his word as عبد الله بن عمرو not مرفوع. وروي عن أبي هريرة قال إذا كان الماء 40 دلوا وقيل 40 غربا. وتمسك مالك وغيره بخبري. Really, is that the case? Right. So this whole when you say تمسك مالك, is it possible that Imam Malik knew about this hadith? Is it possible? Maybe. But again, this is not necessarily the Maliki school that he's actually using this hadith in Darqutni, right? وغيره بخبري الماء طهور رواه الدارقطني من حديث محمد بن موسى الحرشي الصدوق so 50-50. حدثنا فضيل بن سليمان وفيه مقال عن أبي حازم عن سهل مرفوعا الماء لا ينجسه شيء. وهذا حديث منكر لكن يأتي هذا بسند صحيح. رشدين ابن سعد واهي آه، حنبأنا معاوية بن صالح عن راشد بن سعد عن ثوبان الماء طهور الماء إلا ما غلب على ريحه وطعمه أخرجه الدرقطني. And it sounds funny, it just sounds what the والله أعلم. وأخرجه من وجه آخر عن رشدين فقال عوض عن ثوبان عن أبي أمامة. وقد راه أحوص بن الحكيم عن راشد بن سعد قوله as his opinion. أبو أسامة عن الوليد بن كثير عن محمد بن كعب القرظي عن عبيد الله بن عبد الله بن رافع بن خديج عن أبي سعيد قيل يا رسول الله أنا أتوضأ من بئر بضاعة بضاعة بالضمة وهي بئر يلقى فيها ال ال not الحيض is menstruating women, so I'm not quite sure what the word is here. الحيض or something like that, something to do with menstruation. ولحوم الكلاب والنتن and gross things. فقال إن الله طهور لا ينجسه شيء. أخرجه الترمذي وكذا رواه أبو داود عن جماعة عن أبي أسامة وله طرق وله طرق أخر واهية. ويروى عن أحمد تصحيح خبر بئر بضاعة وسنده حسن وعبيد الله راويه مقل جدا. ومعمر عن همام عن أبي هريرة بخبر لا يبولن أحدكم في الماء الدائم ثم يتوضأ منه. Right, so here this is now by through ijtihad. Okay, Rasulullah said don't urinate in still water, presumably because it gets filthy. ثم يتوضأ منه, right, because it gets filthy. وفي لفظ له ثم يغتسل فيه, right, ثم يغتسل فيه. So there's another hadith as well. That's it's the hadith of إذا استيقظ أحدكم فلا يغمس يديه في الماء آم، آه، حتى يغسلها ثلاثا أو كما قال. Right. That hadith is also a shahid for this concept of the jumhur. Right. So we have basically two competing Hasan-ish hadiths. That's what we have in reality. The whole issue about qullatayn, right? So for some of the late Hanafis, again, it's not the Hanafi school, and I'm sure, Dr. Salah wouldn't agree with it at all. Was it Dahlawi and other people, right? They take this and say, this is the had, it's qullatayn, and the Shafis take this as qullatayn. I believe the Hanbalis take it as qullatayn as well. But the position of the Jumhur is, is istihsan, right? Is that obviously a large amount of water cannot become filthy by mere contact because that would make life impossible. So then what is a large amount of water? Well, a large amount of water, right? And for Imam Malik, it's slightly different. Is that, has it, as long as it hasn't changed, it's fine, right? And again, there's details in the Maliki school. But basically, that's what we're looking at here. Imam Shafi is looking at a weak/Hasan hadith and using it as evidence. Imam Ahmad as well. And some Shafis as well are looking at the other hadith, right? Al-ma'u at-tahuru la yunajjisuhu shay'un, saying it's good enough, right? It's good enough. As for Imam Malik, is Imam Malik even looking at these hadiths anyway? Or was he looking at the general concept among the Salaf, right? And even for Imam Shafi and Imam Ahmad, it's a very important, that we mentioned before, the introduction to Sunan Ibn Majah by Nu'mani, where he mentioned, like, where was fiqh before the 6 books? Here's a better question. Where was fiqh before Darqutni? Right? So, so fiqh was already there. So the concepts are already there. So what we're really doing is doing tarjih between the concepts. That's what we're doing. When you're saying وَدَلِيلُنَا كَذَا وَدَلِيلُكَ كَذَا, we're saying there is a concept, an inherited concept in the Sahaba and Tabi'een, which is X. That is the basis of fiqh. Right? That is the basis of fiqh. Just like tajweed. Just like tajweed. There is the Quran is inherited from the Salaf. Fiqh is inherited from the Salaf. It's not based on hadith in reality. It's not based on hadith. Not in the Shafi school, and not in the Hanbali school, not in any school, right? And I'm saying these, bimel al-fam. I'm saying this with with a lot of jura. It's like, whoa. And because you realize that in retrospect, that what they're doing is they're taking something that exists and they're editing it and tweaking it and building on it and doing tarjih between it. But the substance is there and they're doing tarjih of it. Does that make sense? As opposed to there's no substance to begin with. Right? So there's already a precedent, there's already concepts, there's already ideas, and now there's a hadith that backs up this one or a hadith that backs up that one. So the hadith comes after the fiqh. Now sometimes they go hand in hand because it's clear that hadith has been narrated in this group of people and has been acted upon in this way, and they go hand in hand. The concept is there and the hadith is there and they go together, and it's not an issue. Or the ayah is there and etc. But the whole idea that that there's the whole idea that it's actually based purely on Quran and Sunnah it's not actually true. It's not what's happening. Each generation is doing more and more taqleed, more and more ta'athur, right? They are looking at things with more and more of a lens of their students, and they're using the Quran and Sunnah to navigate these things, right? So when you say Imam Malik is based on Hadith and Daraqutni, he's like, are you joking? Well, so and the same applies to the Shafi and Hanaf and the Shafi'i and Hanbali school. The concept is there and it's supported. That's how it works. And now the issue is just which competing concepts among the Salaf is given precedent. That's the idea. But nobody's just reading a hadith and just coming up with something like that. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, yeah.
Right. Again, forgive me, something I repeat again and again and again and again and again, but it's just very important. Okay, مسألة تغير الماء. How when water changes, can it still be used? So it says هشام بن حسان عن حفصة عن أم عطية خبري أو خبر اغسلنها بماء وسدر. Right, this is in Bukhari and Muslim. So this is one of the Sahabiyat. Who is this? This is one of the daughters of the Prophet ﷺ, right? In her when she passed away, rahimahullah, and wash her bima'in wa sidrin. So the idea that the sidr, which is uh, it's called, what's it called? It has a word in English. It's some kind of basically like thing from a tree, a particular tree. I can't remember the name of the tree now. Um, it's mixed with it. So the point is, obviously the water will not be 100% normal water. وأحمد حدثنا أو أنبأنا العقدي حدثنا إبراهيم بن نافع عن ابن أبي نجيح عن مجاهد عن أم هانئ قالت اغتسل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وميمونة من ماء من إناء واحد قصعة بدل قصعة فيها أثر العجين. قلت مجاهد لم يسمع من أم هانئ. So it's منقطع. معمر عن ابن الطاووس عن المطلب بن عبد الله عن أم هانئ قالت جيء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بجفنة فيها ماء وفيها أثر العجين, right, of dough, فاغتسل. فيه انقطاع. I'm not quite sure where the انقطاع is. وقد روى الدرقطني أن أم هانئ كرهت أن يتوضأ بالماء الذي يبل يبل فيه الخبز ثم ما في خبز القصعة أن الماء تغير ثم ما في خبر القصعة أن الماء تغير. Yeah, it doesn't actually show that it changed. So so again, we have kind of two concepts here anyway. Concept number one is the haqiqah of something is what you call it, right? Do you call this water or do you call this something else? The other thing, this is amrun balwa, right? Is difficulty, right? It's not easy to have perfectly clear things. Um, so these hadith are not 100% clear, but the Shafis, they say, as long as you can call it water, it's water. It doesn't matter that it's not 100% clean, right? So swimming pool water is water. Uh, uh, you know, it's not, what's the word? Diluted chlorine, is it? Okay, and then question number 4. مسألة المستعمل طاهر. So again, notice here, where are the concepts before Ma'mar ibn Rashid narrates this hadith? Where is the concept before Daraqutni narrates this hadith? Where is the concept before Imam Ahmad mentioned it? The concept is already there of Umul Balwa, of things, certain level of tasamuh, things are being overlooked, etc. Okay, مسألة, new scenario. المستعمل الطاهر خلاف للحنفية. Right. So again, Zafar, right, this is not the position of the Sahibain, nor is the position of the Madhab either. Right. It's the position of Imam of Abu Hanifa. Right. That it's al-musta'mal is najas. Zafar.
Sorry, what was the question?
This issue here, al-musta'mal tahir, khilaf al-Hanafiya. Right. So the Hanafi school is that it's pure. Right. Ma musta'mal is pure.
Yeah.
But the position of Imam, then I think position of the Imam is that it's najis, or a position from him is that it's najis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is, so then you say, well, why are you mentioning this? So it doesn't matter. So sometimes it's important to understand we do this happens a lot in usul, and it can happen in fiqh as well, in comparative fiqh, is the issue I'm not trying to do, the issue is not صحة النقل or ضبط المسائل. The issue is ما يمكن أن يقال, right? So there's an i'tirad, there's a conceptual concept. This could be said, or this could be said, this could be said. The fact that it's narrated from somebody is great, because then I can just label it. But it doesn't, I'm not trying to say that Imam the Hanafis actually say this, right? So they'll do this all the time in usul, khilafan lil mu'tazila, like which of the mu'tazila said that, right? Or khilafan lil yahud, which yahud said that? The point is, qad yuqal, right? This could be held. There's an opinion that you could put there, and so what would be the proof against it? That's all. Like it doesn't actually matter if it's correct or not. So it says حدثنا. So this is Imam, presumably Imam. When he says حدثنا here, this is going to be Imam Ahmad. حدثنا وكيع عن عون بن أبي جحيفة عن أبيه قال أتيت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بالأبطح, that area, وهو في قبة له فخرج بلال بفضل وضوئه, with some extra water, فبين ناضح ونائل. And so some people were getting tons of water and some people were getting a little bit of water, right? فبين this and this, i.e. some people are doing this, some people are doing that. ناضح, to trickle water. What نائل, to get some water, right? شعبة, I think this is just the madar. And that's one of these things I liked about this book when I was looking at these different books. So he just gives you the madar. So obviously Imam Bukhari, Muslim are not narrating from Shu'bah. But Imam Dhahabi is saying, listen, I'll just give you the madar. So I'm pretty sure when it says Nahiyah Waki', this is the Muslim Imam Ahmad, he just didn't mention it, or it's dropped from one of the manuscripts. Here he's giving us the madar. Like it's not interesting for me to see the different chains that Muslim has, Bukhari has. I just want to know the madar. I want to know. Shu'bah says from Al-Hakam, Sami'a Abu Juhayfa, which backs this up, right? يقول توضأ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فجعل الناس يأخذون فضل وضوئه ويتمسحون, right? So they were using the water that he had used, right? قلت كلاهما لم يدل على المسألة, right? Because this is of the khasa'is of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, so it's not a proof. It doesn't say anything in reality, right? So our proof is عدم الدليل, right? Where is our proof? So the proof of the Jumhur is that we don't have a proof that it's najis, right? So therefore it's pure. مسألة فضل الماء ماء المرأة. So water left over after a woman has used water. So what does that mean, used water? Right? So I believe the Hanbalis, what they mention is a woman who submerses herself in water, not that she touched the water, right? For wudu or something like that. Right? We can check with the Hanbali. شعبة. So again, this is the madar. شعبة عن عاصم الأحولي سمعت أبا حاجب يحدث عن الحكم بن عمرو الغفاري أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى أن يتوضأ الرجل بفضل وضوء المرأة. حسنه الترمذي وأبو حاجم سوادة بن, his name is سوادة بن عاصم صالح الحديث, right? That's not that amazing. صالح الحديث. أحمد حدثنا حميد بن عبد الرحمن الرؤاسي حدثنا زهير عن داود بن عبد الله الأودي عن حميد الحميري عن صحابي, right? It doesn't matter. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يغتسل الرجل من فضل امرأته ولا تغتسل بفضله. قلت منكر. زهير هو محمد فيه شيء. وقيل بل زهير هو ابن معاوية الجعفي أحد الثقات الأثبات. Right? It's a problem here. So this Zuhair could actually be a thiqa and could not be a thiqa. عبد العزيز بن مختار عن عاصم الأحولي عن عبد الله بن سرجس أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى أن يغتسل الرجل بفضل المرأة والمرأة بفضل الرجل ولكن يشرعان جميعا. They should start at the same time. سنده جيد قد أخرجه ابن ماجه لكن المحفوظ لعاصم حديثه عن أبي حاجب كما مر مختصرا. ثم لا نعلم أحدا كره للمرأة أن تتوضأ بفضل الرجل. وحجة من ترخص في الأمرين again the مدار هي الثوري وأبو الأحوص عن سماك بن حرب عن أكرمة عن ابن عباس أن امرأة من أزواج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم اغتسلت من جنابة فاغتسل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أو توضأ من فضلها. وفي لفظ من جفنة. ولفظ أحمد عن عبد الرزاق عن الثوري سماعا i.e. so this is الثوري right. فجاء النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يتوضأ من فضلها فقالت إني اغتسلت منه قال إن الماء لا ينجسه الشيء. أحمد وأبو النضر حدثنا شريك عن سماك عن إكرمة عن ابن عباس عن ميمونة أجنبت right صرت جنبا right أجنبت to become something. أنا ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فاغتسلت من جفنة ففضلت فضلا there was something extra. فجاء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يغتسل منها فقلت إني قد اغتسلت منها قال إن الماء ليس عليه جنابة أي أو لا ينجسه شيء فاغتسل منه. أخرجه uh, who is this عين واو. This is um, Abu Awana I think. Awana, that would make sense right. عين واو Awana. So this is in the Mustakhraj on Ala Muslim. Mustakhraj Abu Awana, Abi Awana. Second. So there's two of them. Mustakhraj Ala Abu Awana. Mustakhraj Abu Awana, yeah. This is Ala Sahih Muslim. So I think he has two, one on Bukhari as well, but it doesn't exist. Like we hadn't reached us. I'm pretty sure that would make sense. Let's just quickly read about him in Sirah Alab and Nubala because we might find Dhahabi might tell us something interesting about him. Um, this is not the one we want. Abu Awana. الإسرائيلي. Here we go. Okay, so الحافظ الكبير الجوال صاحب المسند الصحيح الذي خرجوا على صحيح مسلم وزاد أحاديث قليلة في أواخر الأبواب. So زاد. So what's the point he does? He does mustakhraj, right? Mustakhraj is narrate the same hadith with a different chain, right? So that's useful. زاد أحاديث قليلة في أواخر الأبواب. So it's totally different. What does it say?
Visiting the graves.
Exactly.
What is Israf? Israfim?
Well,
Israfim? Sorry?
it's uh, so أدخل إسفراريين. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay.
yeah. So so there's Safarini, which is Safarin, which is in Palestine. But this is Isfrain. Isfrain or Isfrayin. That's a place in Persia. Isfrain. Lots of Isfrainis. But anyway, the point is, um, the amount of times you find Sir A'lam Nubala about this and about what right about Dua Mustajab, right? Like you could probably find like 300 of them or something, or 400, right? So it's a very important thing. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to adopt any opinion. What I'm just trying to say is there's a very important conceptual idea that there was this huge civilizational gap between Wahhabism and traditional Islam. Like there is a civilizational gap. It's not the same thing at all. It's really important. It's like, so the amount of editing and things you have to cut out in order to create Wahhabism is like it's quite a lot. Um, anyway, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But otherwise, he doesn't really say anything ilmy about him, does he? Just says his book is interesting, and that's about it. I'm not quite sure what these book things are here. Mata. There's other people who died in the same time, I think, basically. Here's a hadith أخرجه النسائي عن أو زعفراني. So his mustakhraj on Muslim is a very useful book because it's going to help you with, because it's going to give you other asanid for something. It's going to be useful. Like, why is this hadith here? It kind of doesn't seem that obvious, right? أول من أدخل إسرائيل مذهب الشافعي وكتبه حملها عن ربيع المرادي. So this is an interesting thing that who I can't remember who is it said. Somebody, Halaq, I think he said. I mean he's Muslim. I think is Halaq Muslim. I think Well, Halaq, I think he's Muslim.
No,
Um,
Sidi is a Christian.
he's a Christian. Anyway, so he said, um, interesting thing, which there are interesting things people say, is like Shafi'ism is a fourth, fifth century phenomenon, right? It's not like it took some time for Shafi'ism to take root. So here we see this person, passes away in the end. He's at the end of the third century, beginning of the fourth century. He's أول من أدخل إسرائيل مذهب الشافعي وكتبه, right? حملها عن الربيع المرادي والمزني, right? So uh, it took a while for these kind of things to exist, right? So it's an important thing to understand. And the Hanbali even more, right? I don't know exactly the whole history of the Hanbali school that early, but it's like there's a lot of it takes a long time for that whole thing to kind of burst. Anyway, khair, inshallah, let's stop here. Let's just find where we got to in the. Okay, and then he says أخرجه أبو عوانة وصححه الترمذي. Right. And there's مسألة يجوز عند الحنفية إزالة النجاسة بالمائعات, again with قيود, of course, here. Inshallah, we'll stop here. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان الله وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.